Hey YouTubers, thanks for jumping on my channel. I'm going to show you the Valentine's look that I did for my date night with my hubby back in February. First, I always start by putting a little bit of lip plumper on my lips. I don't really care about plumping up my lips, but I just like that it smells amazing and it feels so moisturizing, and then it also helps keep the foundation off of your lips. I've already moisturized and primed, and now I am using the CC and the BB mixed together. Both of these are shade light to medium. We offer 4 different shades in CC and BB creams with Farmasi. Even though they're only considered light to medium coverage, they still cover fully on my face, and I just absolutely love how lightweight they are, and they're also super moisturizing. I'm just using a flat kabuki brush from Farmasi as well, and using that and applying the CC and BB mixed together all over my entire face. And if you missed the little card, my earrings are from Tiny Willow and they are super adorable. Next, I'm going in with the liquid concealer to do some highlighting with shade 03. It's called Light Ivory. These are super affordable and they're only $9.90 for customer price, and I get it for half off, which is awesome. Next, I'm using my contour stick. We offer this in 1 shade, and it can be kind of like scary to use, but once you get the hang of it, it is so easy. It's very fast and quick, and now I hardly ever use any kind of powder for contour, and I always use my contour stick. Now I'm going in with a tiny little beauty blender sponge, and I'm going to blend out that concealer and get that blended in with my skin very well. And I'm going to go ahead and get that contour that's right under my bottom lip to give me that pouting look. Now I'm going in with a loose transparent powder, and I'm using my dampened beauty blender sponge to pick that up, and I apply this pretty heavily just so that it helps keep it pretty brightened up. And I'm just going to apply that on top of everywhere that I use the light concealer, and that will help set it and keep it in place. Next, I'm going back with that kabuki brush that I used for my foundation, and I'm also going to use that to blend out my contour stick. Make sure that you always blend up and out with your contour, and on your forehead you can bring that down however dark you want it to be. If you need to have more of a smaller forehead, then you can use more. If you don't need to make your forehead look a little smaller, then you can just use a tiny little bit to give you some color. Now I forgot to add some on my nose, so there we go. Next, I'm going in with our Tender Blush on in shade Modern Ballet. This is my absolute favorite shade, and it just is the perfect pink, but it's got a coral tint, and I just love it. You'll just have to ignore the hubby back there. Now I'm going in with my Glam Up palette, and I'm going to use shade Magnolia, and I'm going to put that over my entire eye all the way up to my eyebrow, just as like a base layer, so that it acts like a primer and a setting over top of where I put that light concealer. Now I'm going to go in with shade Warm Teddy. This is a beautiful rusty orangey brown shade, and I just absolutely love it. I grabbed my little Tiny Willow business card to help with that outer line. I'm really bad about having a lot of excess over there, and it's not a really pretty shape. And this was the first time trying the card, and I was super impressed. If you are not good with shaping the outer corner of your eyeshadow, I highly suggest using a business card or any kind of like cardstock or something that's a little bit firmer. Now I'm going to go in with Fuego, and I'm going to put that from my lash line up and just blend it into that Warm Teddy that I had as a transition color. Once again, I'm going to use the card to help shape out that outer corner, and I'm really digging how this card helps. I'm adding a little extra on the outside because I do like my outer corners to be darker. And then I'm going to use a different brush, and I'm going into the black shade of the Glam Up palette. It's called Noir, and I'm going to apply that on my outer corner. And I'm telling you, if you use that card, it just makes all the things come together. It's so good. These eyeshadows are super pigmented, and I highly suggest dipping into them very lightly and building up as much as you need. Now I'm just going in with my color switch, and I'm going to take some of the shadow off of my brushes and go back and blend those outer edges, clean up anything that fell through from underneath the card with my little beauty blender, and have those lines nice and precise. Still going to blend a little bit more just to get those edges not so sharp. Now I'm using a little bit of a flatter brush, but it's still got a little bit of a fluff to it, and I'm going to use shade Gold Tail. It's a really pretty shimmery gold, and I'm going to apply that on my inner corner and up under my brows just to have a little something something. Now I'm going to go in with one of the Pro Farmasi brushes. It's very flat and it doesn't have a lot of give, and I'm going to apply that in Fuego color. It's a really pretty burgundy red color, and I'm going to apply that across my whole bottom lashes, and then I'm also going to add a little bit of the Noir color and bring that a little bit more heavily on the outside, and then bring that towards the inner corner, and then I'm just blending it out with my finger a little bit using the color switch again. I just have a habit of cleaning all my brushes as soon as I get done. Now I'm going in with the black ink liner from Farmasi. These are so good. They slide on like melted butter, and they literally stay all day long. They will not come off with just water. You have to use a makeup remover. And I'm applying a little bit of a wing. I'm not 100% the best with wings, but I'm learning. And that's the cool thing about makeup, is that you can just do whatever you feel comfortable with. And if it doesn't work out, you can go back and fix it. You can take it off. You can cover it up. So I'm just trying to apply a little bit of a wing because I am planning on using false lashes. I have a little bit of an indentation right on the outer corners where my upper eyelid and my lower eyelid meet that I have to try to fill in so that it doesn't look like I just have a place that doesn't have anything on it. So now I'm going to use our Keep It Cool lashes from Farmasi. These are $14.90 for customers, and they are so good. This is one of the most, I would say the least dramatic ones. I am not a huge false lash wearer, but these are absolutely beautiful, and they're not like too crazy for me. So now I'm going to use the the Duo eyeshadow or eyelash glue, I'm sorry. And I put a little bit out on my hand. I'm going to take the lashes off and see if they fit my eye, and I do need to trim these. I do suggest trimming your false lashes from the inner corner because they tend to be a little bigger on the outside edge, and if you trim from out there, then it's going to take away some of the lash that is expanding out to give you a little bit more flare on your outer corner. So you massage it, you kind of move it around a little bit to make sure that the band is loosened up so that it's going to attach to the shape of your eye. And I am putting the Duo lash glue on my hand and using a very, very tiny angled brush and applying it just as I would an eyeliner on my upper lash line. Make sure that you don't put it down in your lashes, put it up above your lashes just like an eyeliner. Go ahead and do both eyes and let it sit for just a couple seconds and get tacky. You don't want the glue to be too wet, or the lash is not going to stick as effectively. So go ahead and apply that on. Make sure you apply the middle first and then move outward on both sides. And I'm having some trouble with this left eye, and so I ended up just pulling it completely off and starting over, because you don't want to try to stretch it and pull it where it needs to be, because that can grab a hold of your real lashes, or it could mess up the eyelash, and then you'll have to take them both off and pick a different pair. So I applied a little bit more lash glue, let it set for just a tiny little bit, and then I put it back on there, and it looked so much better the second time. Now I'm going in with the new Glow highlight palette, and I'm going to use the pinkish shade to give me a little bit of highlight on my upper cheeks, the tip of my nose, my forehead, and my chin, and my Cupid's bow, the same places where I put that light concealer just to give it a little something. Now I'm going to use Farmasi's 3D Effect mascara. This mascara is heavenly. It does all the things when you are not wearing lashes, so it just enhances and makes those lashes pop even more. So I'm going to apply it pretty heavily along the bottom lash line, but then I'm just applying a very thin layer on the top just to kind of push my natural lashes up with my false lashes. So now I'm just going to take a washcloth and wash off my lips just to make sure all the foundation and stuff is off of it so that my matte liquid lip stays. This is shade 06. It is called Superstar, and it literally makes you look like a superstar. It is the perfect shade of red. It's not like a bright, like fire engine red. It's got a little bit more of like a purple burgundy tint to it. And I was absolutely terrified to use it, but let me tell you, it is so good. These are only $11.90, and they literally stay all day. I decided not to use a lip liner today because I didn't have one that like 100% matched, and so I'm just using a very, very small brush, and I'm cleaning up those outside edges. Make sure you always set your face with a setting spray. This is our Time Locker spray from Farmasi, and I'm just going to spray it on there real good, let it dry. This is just going to make sure nothing moves and it just melts everything all together. So there we have it, our Valentine's date night with the Hubs look. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you have any questions, message me, and thanks for jumping on.